Hello, beautiful beings. I told him I can't record a video. My hair's way too messy right now. I don't think that's ever stopped me before. So, this new moon and the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse, was it? Yes. It is really So, I was talking to my youngest daughter. I was waiting for the thought dust to settle just now. She told her family I'm allotting 1 hour to talk to my mama. And she called me. And before she called me, all day long, I've been thinking about her husband, my youngest son-in-law, the sweetest guy. And I've been thinking about him so much today and asking the ancients, God, the divine, what's wrong with him? Why isn't he happy? And yeah, he's depressed. And so when she called me, I was just like, oh, wow, that's so cool. I wanted to talk to her about what I realized today. And I told her, and she almost yelled it. She said, I realized that today too. I said, I've had such a big shift towards the way I've been looking at him. I feel so much compassion for him today. I'm not sure why. It's the culmination of working towards seeing the men of humanity differently. It always pays off. Whatever I've been working on that may seem insurmountable, it's not. It just takes some time to see from a higher perspective. That's all. And I know if I'm looking at somebody and I'm judging them, well, that's useless mind activity, isn't it? From the persona that I'm not anymore. As a beautiful being, I would not automatically judge somebody. I wouldn't have bad thoughts of them. I would feel compassion for that other beautiful being. We are exactly the same without these physical forms. Exactly. Sure, we could get into the separate essences and stuff, but even before the essence that we all are individually, that's an expression of consciousness. We are all one. We are all exactly the same before we are expressed into an essence of any type, they're saying. So, wow, that was a cosmic bunny trail right there. The shift, I can go long periods of time and feel like there's just lessons. There's just more lessons. There's just more lessons, more presenters, men of humanity presenters that I get to practice on, because this is what I'm fine tuning. This is what I've begged for so desperately. And I'm doing the work. And there's this in-between space. Starting out is like, yeah, I see it now. I'm really going to work on this. It's like seeing this differently. Seeing it how I would naturally see. I have a sharp gift of discernment. Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying I'm trying to see everybody like they are super positive or innocent or not dangerous, nothing like that. This is, thank you, ancients. It's a being the observer like we are. It's witnessing everything basically, instead of feeling any type of off balance emotion, whether it be good or bad. Yeah, if it's off balance, if it disrupts my peace, whether it be really good or really bad, that's off balance, and that can't stay like that for very long. It needs to come back to basically neutral. And to the persona, that doesn't sound very exciting, just being neutral. Well, that's not flatline. No, presence is all that is. It's where everything comes from. And that's our own natural state of being. And Doozer is crying right now. Throughout my ascension, especially, people have asked me why I'm so focused on spirituality. Well, I don't, it's not a choice, really. It's not a conscious decision every morning. I've just had this drive for so long. Just this drive. And I didn't know what I thought for a really long time that it was, and it was, but the ultimate goal, if there is a goal, is to remember and express that most authentic expression of the divine through this physical form. Whatever it takes, I'd be on my knees. My ear is ringing so loud right now. They know I have misophonia. It's one continuous, steady, high-pitched noise. I'm sure you know what that is. Like, thank you, baby. Thank you so much. He just kissed my arm a lot. I took him to work with me today, and then we went down to the river. I haven't been bringing him with me, and I've been feeling like he was depressed too. And he's so much better today. Yeah, I used to take him with me all the time. I've been having a premonition about my car for quite some time now. This is the first summer, and I don't remember the last summer that I have went so little to the river or just out in the woods. It's been, well, it's kind of part of the growth when there's a certain type of growth that's going on in my life. Sometimes it's just about more cocooning instead of being out there more. And my biggest aversion to being out there more and just wanting to be here, like with my earplugs in, is I just get way too overstimulated at this point in my ascension still. And it's just better for me to, just, it's so quiet sometimes, all of a sudden. But see, I know that the traffic, I'm just like, this is going to drive me insane, this noise pollution. But it drives me further in. And I have earplugs and I have different ways. I thought I would just have, I should just bear it, but no, there's things that I can do to help make it manageable. And also, I thank the divine once in a while for my amazing cabin in the woods, and it's going to be incredibly quiet. I will hear a very, very distant train once in a while, very, very distant, and also an airplane once in a great while. And the river all the time. Ancients, what else were we realizing? It's just so beautiful. It's getting to go through life completely differently than I did the first part of my life. I had no idea that that was even possible. But getting to interact with people without the mental commentary that each and every one of us has, it's conditioned into us. There are some that don't, like I won't soon. But the majority of us have that just automatic judgment of others when we see each other. I'm not really going to ask what that's about right now. It's just more conditioning. So to go through life and to see people, yes, yeah, okay. So my spidey senses will still be on point when that's a lot different than just useless mental judgment. Yeah. Yeah, my gift of discernment will still be sharp. Yes. People tend to think that, I know this isn't going to be that shocking, but people seem to think that since I'm happy most of the time, like every time they see me, unless they watch my videos and I'm processing through something, shedding, they think that my happiness means weakness, equals weakness. Yeah, that's one of the last things that my man friend from last summer said to me. Because there was a man that had his huge RV here during the summer, and then they were moving into a house at the end of summer, and he wanted me to clean it for him. And I went and looked at it, and I was just like, I told him how much I charged, and he said that he was going to have to wait a couple weeks, and he was manipulating me. And I didn't realize it at the moment, at the time, but I certainly did before I cleaned it. And I spoke my truth, and um, I was I was talking to I was walking Doozer, and all of a sudden appears, you know, my man friend from last summer, the lust lesson guy, the gorgeous guy. He's not gorgeous to me anymore, because addiction does that. It makes people unattractive after a while, and just the coldness of him makes him incredibly unattractive to me now. Yeah, it was like there was some type of a sexual spell on me last summer. That's what it felt like too. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I mean, I thought I may be having fun at times, but no. I learned a lot, and I came out unscathed. It was really scary, in a lot of different ways. But I was telling him, like, he started walking, along with me. And I started telling him, I said, yeah, that man with the RV, he seemed so nice. Seemed like a kindred spirit. He called me a kindred spirit. Well, you must be a kindred spirit. He was like an old cowboy. Not old, like my earth age. And just the nicest guy. He was talking about his wife too, and how she'd appreciate this so much. And I told him how much I charge, and he said that, oh, that's okay, that's quite a bit. Because I gave him a quote on how long it would take me. And yeah, he said that would be a lot. That was a lot, and that he would have to wait a couple of weeks until he got that much money. And I knew he was lying in the moment. I was like, no, this guy has money. He definitely has money. He wasn't the type that just, is in a bunch of debt because he got this RV. It was quite an old RV. And he told me all about his family business that he had. And yeah, I was just like, yeah, this guy's loaded. But I wasn't charging him more than I normally would. But he still treated it like it was a lot. Yeah, it was like $250 for a huge RV. And it was really gross. It was like they hadn't actually been living in there, or they had been living in there but not cleaning at all. And I went back and I looked at it again after he left, because when there's a man around me, even no matter how nice they are, especially if they're in a small space, it's rare. I mean, yeah, my lust lesson last summer was in here, but have there been any other men? Manna was in here. He's like a 6'5". What kind of tree is he? He's like a tree. His dreads are way down past his butt now, but he's so skinny like his dad. What kind of tree? They'll tell me when it comes in. I think I've asked before. I think he has actually told me also. Anyway, so okay, he's been here. My neighbor guy was here, and Celiche was here just a few days ago when he was giving me a ride to work for a couple days. I borrowed my grandson's truck instead of accepting the gift of that car from my daughter and my son-in-law. It was so sweet of them, but I don't need to buy another car, or I didn't need another car right now. I borrowed this truck, and I'm going to go down next week and get, more than likely, this is just what I keep feeling compelled to do. I guess I'll get my answer when I go down there, won't I? But I'm not feeling compelled to put a rebuilt transmission in that Subaru. I'm just not. It feels like that Subaru is basically out of my life. I will be very surprised if it stays in my life. Yeah, that's so interesting, isn't it? I keep seeing a white vehicle. But I also saw myself leaving here in June or July. I was convinced of it. But it's really good practice, they're saying, because those type of thoughts that come in with such a feeling, because I have such a strong desire, not one that makes me feel uncomfortable though in any way. Does that make sense to you? It's like having a baby. Yeah, exactly. Like everything. I'm at the point where I'm days away. Wow. From having my baby. And that's what it feels like when these thoughts about my new home come in. I'll just tell you, when I have downloads about where I'm going next, there's so much love there. I will still have, I've asked them this so many times, and they were just showing me that I will still have plenty of privacy, because that's just something that I can't live without. Even when my divine partner comes, I'm going to have time by myself. It's just a part of who I am. I need it. Yeah, nobody is that endlessly fascinating. I wonder if my AA sponsor, Nancy, dropped her physical form, because I've been talking about her a lot. Oh, lately. And AA. And she just came through for the first time. I've been talking about you for weeks. She had to have. I feel like she did, or something major is going on with her. Somebody, it seems like it's her, is saying, I'm kind of tripping right now. It's been a while. She's just been able to come through. It takes them a while, so, beautiful beings that go back home to, there's still more school when we go back home, they're saying, but it's a lot different than it is here, of course. Yeah, there's her face, there's her smile. My ear is ringing. Huh, so interesting. Okay, I bet I will hear very soon something. Welcome. Hmm. Yeah, I just couldn't figure out why I was talking about AA so much. I do throw it in a lot because I was there for like 8 years and 2 months before, my next teacher showed up. I had been listening. That's right. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I started listening to Abraham Hicks almost 4 years before I quit going to AA. Yeah, because it always said, the book did, if you have a sufficient substitute and you keep up your spiritual program, you can go anywhere. You can do anything. You don't have to keep going to AA. And I just felt like the divine always put what I needed in my life at the time that I needed it. It kept happening. So that's how I figured it was, I don't call the divine he. I just did, because what I'm talking about is when I first got sober, and I still called God, 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 God. And if I call God, God, if I call the divine God, what's breathing my heart, breathing my heart, beating my heart and breathing me, then I have to say he. But God is genderless. So why would I stop at a gender, a physical form? When we go back home, yeah, there's the essence and all that. Yeah, nobody knows exactly how it is at home, except the ones that have a really good idea are the ones that have crossed over and came back. I'm not talking about reincarnation, They call it the near-death experience. I guess that's the best they could do, isn't it? They're saying that. That's the best they could come up with, is near death. Okay. They're saying that, because I was asking, well, can you please explain that? So humans cannot pick up a pulse. They think that person is dead, but they're showing me that there's still just enough life force. So the one that exited, the beautiful being that exited and went home for a bit, could actually come back and inhabit that body. If there was no electric current, they're showing me, plugged into that physical form anymore, not a human electric current, but from the divine, then that person would not be, the door would be closed. They're saying that suit, that you wouldn't be able to slip back into that. And I've heard how horrible it is to slip back into a meat suit after you've been out of it for a while. Oh, they all describe it exactly the same. I won't tell you, but there's plenty of those stories on YouTube, and they just make me feel, I'm going to start listening to them again. I said that very recently too. And I listened to one, but the near-death experiences are just such a beautiful reminder of what home feels like. Oh, okay. So I didn't look at the 3 cards that I've drew since the beginning until just now. I drew these cards earlier, and I'm just getting such a romantic vibe. I got romance, friendship. All day I've been thinking about how the foundation of it doesn't matter who it is, the foundation is always friendship. It has to be. Absolutely has to be. Because if it's just attraction, thank you, ancients. Because I knew that there was one more realization that I was writing down. And I was just like, I don't have to write this down. I already knew this. But I'm seeing things at such a, from the eyes of presence, they're saying, more and more as every day goes by. And that is when I'm attracted to a man romantically, or, you know, physically even, it's to a smaller degree than I ever realized about his physical appearance. And it's literally about if we're on the same wavelength or not. That is the attraction. Oh, it makes things so simple. I can be around somebody and, you know, look at the person for the very first time and think, oh, he's an attractive man, but not be attracted to him until I start getting to know him. And this kind of attraction, I mean the kind of attraction that you would feel if you were, you know, because I feel we have all felt it. We weren't like super attracted to the person, and then you become friends and you're like, oh, wow, I'm feeling so attracted to this person. That's because we're on the same wavelength. And what's happening to me, they're saying, is that I am, something I've begged for also is, and I didn't need to, is being able to hold satsang with men and ignore the personal attraction and just treat them like the beautiful being that they are. And I've been working diligently on that most recently. And I even made an agreement with one of my dear friends about it, that I would be able to, you know, do this and honor the men of humanity to the highest degree possible that I can muster. But that's not from the personal identity. That's getting out of the way, because I could never, the personal identity, that's not who I really am, but this personal myself, I would never be able to muster the amount of compassion that the men of humanity need, and that I know can pour through me to them if I just get out of the way. If I get this mental construct, this personal construct out of the way. The useless parts, they're saying. The parts that obstruct the flow. So I'm having a major shift with that. And with it is just this feeling of, well, love and compassion. And I see this person as depressed, not just, you know, just an angry bastard. And it feels so wonderful. And the person I just had this shift with today, my daughter had this same exact shift with him. And that is just no mistake. That we were talking about how we've played different roles for each other. Yeah, we hold the most beautiful songs. We just go deep right away. And it's so beautiful. Being sober for this long, not drinking, I mean, because, you know, I've obviously had my dance with Santa Maria, marijuana. But my girls watching me from a young age, my oldest was 17. Yep, she was 17 when I quit drinking. I didn't do any drugs at all for 8 years and like 2 months. And then I started drinking a little bit of marijuana tea, chai tea. And I did that for a really long time. It was just delightful for myself. I'm not saying it for you. I'm not suggesting it for you. I'm just only ever talking about my own personal experience. Oh, these would be so beautiful together. I have my polishes out beside each other, and I'm going to wear these next. because I like to see the colors of them. I don't like to put my polish in the cupboard, and I don't let the sun hit them, but I like to see the color. That's basically why I wear colors on my nails, because I like to yeah, oh, I'm thinking of you right now. I've thought of you so many times and how you would let your toenail polish grow out to the very tips. And I've thought, I hope she paints her toenails more often. She's so worth it. So, wow, I have romance, friendship, and nature. Yeah, I mean, I feel, I feel my divine partner. They're saying this is because I just asked them, is this useless? Me even talking about a divine partner? And they said, well, no, because talking about my divine partner, about how I'm feeling towards him, about how he's feeling towards me, helps manifest him in. All I have to do is don't overextend. Stay just where you are. Be the divine winch. And they show me as a tree in the forest, and I literally have a winch, bolted to me because I'm a tree, and it's pulling willingly. It's pulling my divine partner towards me. It's not an actual, cable. It's a divine winch. And it's an energetic pull that we have towards each other, they're saying. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. I haven't seen that before. See, that's another sign. They're also showing me the movie. Oh, I'm going to have to watch that on my new computer that my son-in-law bought me. Avatar. How when the man takes his tail, oh my gosh. I've never worn my hair like this on camera. Recording a video. They take their braid and they tether it with their dragon's tail, and it fuses together. They've showed me that so much. That's what energetically starts to happen when your divine partner, when they're in your orbit, and you come together very gradually, because it'd be way too much if it wasn't gradual. Plus, you still need to build a friendship foundation, which is not a burden. It's all because we're both very, more than we ever have been, rooted in divine timing. That's where presence is. And so we don't feel the need to rush. It's not just logically saying, oh, we shouldn't rush or go too fast. Yeah, Nancy used to say it all the time. She said, just don't rush. We're not supposed to rush. And I would say, what does that look like? Because I just wanted to go with how I was feeling. But nobody could tell me what that looked like. We have to live it. It's still go with the flow, but it's having shed all of the things that would have made me go too fast. A current that would take me away. And I'm just staying right here, and I'm enjoying the ride. And so is my divine partner. And we don't have to rush or, stir up fear. They just showed me running through dust and kicking up, the dust thoughts that are fear, because we're just moseying along. Yeah, we don't have to rush. It's already happening. So it's very beautiful. Did we explain the shift that we had? Both shifts that we had? Yes, the attraction and the men of humanity. Okay, so let me see here real quick. Yeah, it was all about my divine partner coming in, and, trust. And the final card, the grand finale card, was surrender and release, which is always the very best card that I could ever get, because that's exactly what I do. Is I get these major downloads about my divine partner and how he's feeling about me and how close he is, and then I just, the personal identity that hasn't had that would want to cling to it, but I don't need to cling to anything. I just need to receive it. Yeah, and that doesn't mean I have to overthink about it. I just need to suck the marrow out of the downloads that I get and then release and then throw the bones into the woods, they're saying. So, good boy. Good boy. I think that's it for now. He's having major shifts also right now. That's so beautiful. Because the time that we come together, just I asked them specifically, what do you mean come together? And that means like have the conversation. You know, is that how? It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter, because in the moment I'll know exactly how it's going to come about. It may already be coming about. You never know. I mean, it is. He is. He's moving towards me. And what's very interesting to me is I, even physically, with my physical form, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go out of my way. I'm not going to be traveling to meet this person. This person is already in my experience or is coming towards me and will enter my experience. Yeah. So satsangwithmamaji@gmail.com. I hope we kept it pretty short. Oh, whatever. We love you so much.